Why did it become cool to brag about bad things? For example, I only slept 2 hours last night. I'm so broke right now. I ate 10 burgers last night. I had to throw up 3 times after last night of drinking. And so on. Why is an unhealthy lifestyle or being broke/messy something to brag with? Commiserating. Not so much bragging. One of those in-jokes that people put out there to find similarly afflicted like-minded people. Like a mating call in the wild. But just trying to find friends who won't judge you for being broke. Lame. Etc. First prize. Self-depreciation as a joke has been around forever probably. I don't think it's always that. Some people love to tell how their life is hard and play victim trying to be praised by their efforts. Other people think everything is a competition. So if someone complain they didn't sleep, they will remember when they slept only 2 hours. If someone say they were hungry and ate 3 burgers, they will brag for eating 10. Some of it could be dumbass bragging about supposedly good things in roundabout ways. I only slept 2 hours last night is a brag about stamina on little or no sleep. They're still up and doing what you are doing on a full night's sleep. I had to throw up 3 times after last night of drinking is a brag about their manly ability to drink lots of alcohol. Even if they puked. And especially if they puked and then continued drinking. I ate 10 burgers last night is a brag about having a manly appetite and a manly disregard for any weakling cautions about how unhealthy it might be. I'm so broke right now is a brag about being more carefree and daring and you only live once than the guy who has a growing savings account. I know in the US at least. People normally psychologists have said this stems from a capitalist society that values overworking people and creates an unhealthy mindset that we should constantly be so busy and overwhelmed because it coincides with working hard and making money. It then trickled down into the usual competitive nature that the country also has. I don't know where you're from and I'm not even saying my opinion on it, but this is what I have read in the US. It's why teachers are being pushed to teach social emotional learning and mindfulness. Capitalist is a purely competitive, adaptive mindset with little regard for others beyond how they can benefit you. Those traits do not stem from some nebulous idea that is capitalism. Capitalism as a phenomenon stems from biological drives which do not always benefit the species as a whole. Organisms even within the same species are fiercely competitive. They adapt to new environments and become new species depending on what traits influence survival. Also, the competitive sex of a heteroreproductive species will always try to one-up each other. Via work or value, whether that be an impressive nest, house, mating dance, car collection, ability to hunt and kill, creative makery skills, or any other impressive ability in order to pass on genes. Complex organisms are not only competing between species but between their own kin to both exist and to reproduce. We overwork ourselves for the sake of pursuing profit and human luxuries. If we lived like hunter-gatherers, we could work a happy 20 hours a week. But of course we couldn't live as comfortably as we do now. Ideally we can work things into enough automation for that work schedule to become reasonable again without utterly destroying ourselves and our freedoms to get there. It's just something kids/teenagers do. It stops being cool or funny after a while. OMG Kathy, I don't care or believe that you've had 2 hours of sleep a night for the last 5 years. I just needed to know if you have that packet ready for me yet. It has always annoyed the heck out of me. My little brother in his teenage years did this to the extreme. And surprise, all his friends did. He is incredibly proud of it. Suffering or making yourself suffer is not okay. I'm over it. I'm eating my Caesar salad and am going to bed early tonight and I'm proud of it. Yeah, same. Me and my veggie smoothie are out of here doing laundry. I don't know anyone who brags about 2h sleep. I know a lot of people who talk about how exhausted they are. Especially parents of newborn/small children. They compare notes so they don't feel so alone. Might be the people you hang around. I don't know anyone who brags about 2h sleep. You, my friend, have never met a tradesman XD. No. I have. I'm even related to a bunch. Must just be the people you surround yourself with. I am Polish, and bragging about bad things and self-depreciating humor is like our unofficial anthem we sing to each other every day through our whole lives. I can only relate this to my own thought process from back in the day. I used to say these things to show I'm special, or in the case of being sleep-deprived before work, that I was a hard worker and committed to being here even though you actually work less hard when tired. But what about the competitive braggers? Hey Bruce, what's up? I only got 2 hours sleep. Lucky you. I got 1 hour. People want to differ from healthy societal norms, and they do it by bragging about their unhealthy habits. It's cool because, well, it's funny. People make jokes about themselves when they get 2 hours of sleep or etc. Just like another commenter on this post said. Self-deprecating humor. Okay, that makes sense. A way of making fun about oneself and not actually bragging. Thank you. Basically, in my experience, I've bragged about a lot of unhealthy decisions and habits. And they're all in joke form in order to make my friends laugh. I never really try to flex my ordeals. Rather just make jokes about them. Makes others feel better about their own mistakes. Some of it is self-deprecation. Some of it is late-stage capitalist bragging about putting work over yourself. Why is eating burgers a bad thing? It's not. Eating 10 is. The lowest calorie fast food burger I can find is a regular hamburger from McDonald's at 250 calories. Eating 10 of those is way overeating for most women and teens. And getting close for a grown man. It's certainly far more fat, sodium, and carbs than anyone needs to be eating a day. I eat like Speep, so I have no room to talk OFC, but like, eating 10 hamburgers is always bad, lol. 10. I mean, that's what the post says, lol. It could potentially be based upon what one values. Like attention or getting good grades. Attention is pretty straightforward. But as for getting good grades, it's always said that hard work is good. So bragging about working so hard I never got more than 7 hours of sleep for an entire year does make you look like a hard worker. And probably kinda out of your mind as well. So yeah, those are my thoughts about it. We think we're rebelling against the man. LOL. As if the man, if there is one, actually cares. Maybe nowadays it's Google. Not the man anymore. It's edgy. Irving Goffman calls this negative idealization. Check out the presentation of self in everyday life. It's one of my favorites. Because these people equate working long or hard with success. This is particularly present in the filmmaking community. Just because you spent 14 hours on a shot doesn't mean you're a better filmmaker. Maybe the feeling of being an outlaw, or to be exact, out of the usual lifestyle, give their self a sense of superior. I'm probably off a bit, but I'd say somewhere around 1983 is when it really started to take off. Up until then I only really heard P.A.P. brag about good things. Attention, I always figured. Always seems to be proper boring bastards who do it. America worships hedonism. Hence, it's not bragging. It's talking about yourself lol. We've just stopped being afraid to admit we do speepty things even though we know better. Considering how the last 12 months have been, I think people are scared to humble brag. Black people. They make everything they do cool.